Check my YouTube channel, subscribe, and share.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Nelms, the proud CEO of ATK Innovations LLC, which stands for Align, Thrive, and Know. Here at ATK, we believe if you align your goals, thrive in your purpose, then you will truly know who you are. Our mission is to empower you along your journey of personal growth, healing, and discovering your true purpose. As a purpose discovery coach, I believe everyone has a story to tell. Through my podcast, books, and speaking platform, I share inspiring stories of resilience and faith, igniting hope in those who seek it. My safe and transformative coaching program empowers my clients to embrace their true potential to make a positive impact in the world. Are you looking for inspiration, motivation, or a path to your true self? I invite you to join me. Together, we can explore the depths of your potential and create a life filled with purpose. Take the first step today by visiting my website at allthingskimberly.org and schedule your complimentary discovery call today. Your purpose awaits.
Welcome, everybody, to Kimberly Speaking podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We are sitting with the Reverend Joanne Angel BarryColon. She is the host of Joanne's Healing Within and the author of 6 books. That's right, 6 books, guys. So she does not do this for play. She does this for a living. And we are going to dive into her transformational work. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to always be and share who I am, what I do, and who I do it for.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, start off something that many people know and some people don't know. I was born at home, and my dad unexpectedly was the one who brought me into this world. It was not planned. My mother had no intentions of having a home birth, but here I was, unexpected, roaring to come into the world to do what I came here to do. And I've been living in Queens all my life, and only recently started traveling. So I'm a seeker, so to speak, exploring, curious to know what's around the world and seeing what I learned through it all.
Absolutely. Okay. So you're born and raised there. You've been there all your life.
I sure have.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. That is very interesting. I was actually born in Brooklyn, but we moved here when I was like 4. So I'm country at this point, but but yeah, still have a lot of family there. Okay, so tell us how you got into holistic fitness. Like what led you down that path and on that journey?
Well, it's a long story, but I'm going to make it short because I know we're limited on time. I had an opportunity when I was 12 years old to teach my very first gymnastics class. Back then, it was called gymnastics. If we were looking at a workout schedule today, it would be called toning with no weights. And from that very moment, I then knew that I had a passion for helping women to get stronger and healthier. So I went right into the industry at ripe age of 15 and have been in the industry since. So I have about over 4 decades of experience in the health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition industry. So I know a thing or two about all of that. And worked for many, 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 many different fitness organizations in my area, probably every one possible, and had opportunities to climb the ladder, become a manager or a supervisor in the fitness industry, and declined every opportunity. In fact, one of the managers that I worked with, when she was offering me the opportunity, she said to me, "You've been with the organization for 10 years. Why don't you want to climb the ladder?" I said, "The only ladder I want to be climbing is my own business." So what I ended up doing about several years later, with the help of many members that I worked with, they started looking to me for personal training. And before I knew it, I was opening up a space in the basement, working with clients there, and expanded. And then 2 years after that, opened up my own storefront. And that's where it all began. Now, in theory, I did not start out as a holistic
Okay.
Service. It was not all about holistic. It was more about the physical body. In the first give and take 10 to 12 years of my business, I really catered to helping women lose weight, eat a healthy diet, get into their jeans, fit into their favorite dress, or look good for summer. It's
Yeah.
only been since probably 2006, so it's only been maybe about 12 years that I've started blending the physical and the spiritual realms
Mm-hmm.
and all the different healing modalities into my practice, and really started working on the whole person, which theoretically is where the W in holistic comes from,
Holistic. Mm-hmm.
and educating women that we are more than our physical body. We are definitely our mind, our thoughts, our emotion. We are our spirit and our soul, and that we have to learn to work with the whole person that we are in order to really get to the evolution and the transformations that we're here to eventually get into in the process of the holistic part of my practice.
Okay, wow, that is very interesting. So I want to talk about emotional weight and true strength. You said that you help women over 40 release emotional weight without dieting. And what does that mean? Like, walk us through that.
Okay, and I love that question because the emphasis is really about without dieting,
Yes.
because we are in, I'm going to use the word trends and fads in this industry. You know, every time we look and talk, we talk to some women who might be on a trend of wanting to lose 20, 30 pounds. They're on to the next fad diet, et cetera, et cetera. What I've come to learn over the last 10 years is that our physical weight that we carry, that we see, is not about food. It really is about the emotional connection that we
Oh,
carry
wow.
from the stories of our childhood and whatever
Yeah,
trauma we picked up along the way.
that's
And the
it.
only way to really work on releasing that weight, which is known as the emotional weight, is to work through the story. Now, something I learned recently, it's not just about writing a book or standing on stage and talking about your story. What has to really be released is the emotional connection. So if somebody is angry, or someone is frustrated or resentful, or really hurt by whatever they experienced through that trauma, that's what they got to work on releasing
Yeah.
to fully release the physical weight that they're carrying. So it's not about dieting, although the food that we consume plays a role, because once we do work on clearing the emotional connection to that story, we then start to, this is where self-love and self-worth comes into play. We start to love ourselves more, and by loving ourselves more, we start to nurture our body better because we love the body we're in. So we start to choose a different relationship with food. So it's really not about dieting at all, as much as it really is about, let's release the emotional weight, the story,
Yeah.
and then work on how do we love the body that we're in, the only body we're ever going to be in, and loving
Yeah.
every curve, loving the whole process of the body we stand in today.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what do you think? Okay, so you started doing the training at an early age and you've been doing it for over 40 years. What do you think led to your unique integrative approach? Like what made you want to do that versus, the regular, everyday physical training, body, things like that that most people do when it comes to fitness?
Yes, and in theory, looking at it all from, stepping back and looking at it, it's like it would actually have been an easier process if I chose to do it the everyday, and I'm going to use this term, three-dimensional traditional way of helping clients get to their goals. If it was just that simple. But as I said earlier, we are more than our physical body, and we are a soul and spirit. So for me, it's about understanding who we really are from a soul level. And how far back does the story go? Is it really related just to the trauma of our childhood? Or does this go further back than that? And what I became curious to know is like, okay, who am I on the soul level? which then means I had to start exploring different modalities to really get to understand who I am on a soul level, and really start picking through all the different processes in reference to who am I, and how do I know who I am from a soul level based on what I can do for myself, spiritually speaking. So coming into this whole concept of when a client comes to me, it's not just about having them tell me about their specific goals they're looking to accomplish. In fact, if someone came to me asking me that they're saying to me that their goal is to lose 50 pounds, I would not really be concerned about what their weight is as much as me looking at what I like to call the navigation system, also known as a natal chart, and looking at the chart to determine what that weight is about. And if this is the cycle of time where that client can even focus on the weight loss, because there is such a thing on, you may not be in your season for weight loss. You may be in your season to hold on to that weight because you may be going through some challenging times that might be related to illness or even a disease. That theoretically, if it's an illness, we do know that when someone gets sick, they often lose weight. So sometimes it's like our higher power's purpose to having us hold the weight. So this way here, we have something as a cushion should that actually happen, so they don't end up being too thin at the time when they need that extra weight to hold on to. And I can actually see that through their navigation system on whether this is the time or not the time.
Wow, that is so interesting. I never thought about that. Like that perspective is crazy. And like just listening to you, like it makes so much sense. Because like I think back on like my weight loss journey, like I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've gained weight, I lost weight, I've gained weight, I lost weight. It's like this, fluctuating thing, especially like with women, and especially when we get in our older age, it gets harder and harder to keep the weight off. And oh my God, I never thought of that. That is so crazy and interesting.
Yes, and it's interesting that you say that as women, when we get older, it's harder to keep the weight off. In theory, it's really not. And let me explain what I mean by that. We, as a collective, have been programmed and conditioned to believe that we hit a certain age, and that it becomes harder to maintain a healthy weight. So we're programmed, we're conditioned, we hear it. And the more we hear it, the more we believe it. So what ends up happening is we create a cycle and a pattern in our life that's going to match the very thing we've been programmed to believe. So it's really not about, well, it's hard. No, it's not at all hard. It's just a matter of, well, how can you change your belief and your conditioning and change the way you do what you do so you can be a healthier weight? And as you mentioned, most women lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, because what they're doing is they're going, and I'm not saying this is you, but most women go on a fad diet. And they change the way they eat. That's a temporary approach that they cannot sustain as a lifestyle. And then not sustaining as a lifestyle, what's going to happen is once that lifestyle has changed, they're going to go back to the old ways of eating. And that also means the weight is going to come back because they're no longer sustaining what they did to lose the weight. In addition to, if they're only changing their dietary habits and they're not incorporating as a daily practice strength training, that's another reason why they end up going back to their own weight, because they're not doing anything to support their muscle, and they're not doing anything to support their metabolism. So it's not about, well, I hit this certain age and now it's downhill from there. Definitely not.
Okay. It's so funny that you mentioned strength training, because I want to talk about strength training as empowerment. What does that mean to you?
Oh, strength training as empowerment. I mean, it's empowered just within itself. The stronger you are, let's break it down. When we think about someone like myself who lifts weights, we've been doing this since I'm 12 years old. There's a difference between somebody that actually lifts weight consistently They stand in their power just because they're strong. It's not about, well, I need to be powerful. No, because I have this strong foundation.
Yeah.
My energy comes off strong because I built it from inside out. So it's an empowering tool that as we do strength training, we're literally empowering our mind, we're empowering our physical body, and we're empowering our spirit and soul that we can stand and be this powerful being and empower others to do, because the confidence, the strength, the determination, there's a lot to be said when you have somebody that is consistent with strength training, because that says a lot about their personality. They are going to be consistent with what they do. Somebody that is going to be, and it doesn't matter what time of day they strength train, if they're doing it X amount of days a week and they're doing it consistently where it's a practice, they have discipline. And discipline is empowering.
Yeah, it is. Oh wow, that is very. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Okay, so how did Joanne's Healing Within come about? Like, what led to you've been starting the show and all those things to that nature?
How did the show come about? Well, the show started back in 2019, so I think it's going on 7 years. And I was sitting with one of my astrologer mentors, and we were thinking about names. And he said, well, for the show to be empowering, talk about the word empowering, you want to use your name. You don't want to just call it, let's say, Healing Within. You want to call it your name, just like you do KimberlySpeaking. You know, when we mention a name, it takes on the energy of that person.
Okay.
And the healing within, I think that says it all, because we again, as humans, we think healing takes place on the outside. It really starts from inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really have to go within, because it really is about quieting ourselves down so we can start to listen to what it is our body is saying. And I say this all the time, our body is our biggest messenger. So when we do have a physical symptom that shows up, it's just our body's way of getting our attention. And I can break down some examples if you like in a little while.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Certain things that go on, you know, our body's very common for women to give a different spin on things. Okay. So when you think about that, Joanne's Healing Within, it's the message that I'm bringing that it really does start within. Okay. It's not an external approach. It's not about, well, let me go see what I can learn outside. No, quiet yourself down. Connect spiritually and soulfully with who you are. Again, going back to that deep soul of who you are, and where does everything stem from? Because things stem somewhere. It doesn't just happen. Yeah. You know, when someone ends up with an illness or disease or even physical pain, it's not something that showed up overnight. This is a process that is taking place over a period of time, and finally, as I like to call it, erupted. Yeah. So that's Joanne's Healing Within. It's all about me as Joanne, reminding my audience that we heal from within when we take the time to quiet ourselves down to heal from within. Healing is not an outside job.
That's good. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, I wanna ask. So then, would you say that your listeners can expect resources, different ways that they can start to heal within, and different things that you will mention that they maybe want to address or, find out more about, things like that?
Definitely. Every time, I truly believe, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. I truly believe that anytime I speak, I'm sharing nuggets for people to actually heal. In regards to whatever it is I'm speaking about. So, for example, as I said earlier, when we speak about our physical body, specifically for our women, we're women, and you may have some men watching, and they know women too. So, we have this thing called perimenopause and menopause.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's put it on the table, okay? Again, going back into the concept of our belief system, what we've been conditioned to believe, and what we constantly keep hearing. So if we keep hearing that we hit a certain age and it's all downhill from that point, then we start to believe that once we hit, let's say 30, 35, because believe it or not, as study shows, menopause or perimenopause starts as young as 30 years old.
Yeah, I read that. Absolutely.
It's not something that starts when we're now 50s and 60s. It starts as young as 30. And then we also have to keep in mind that it's also environmentally induced. So again, depending on what's going on with a woman, that can bring it on a lot sooner. Now, full transparency, I don't believe in perimenopause and menopause. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's the same. What I do believe is that it's a change of life that women go through. Now, for our audience, when we use the word menopause, one of my favorite things is think about the word men-opause. Most people think, well, we're going to pause the men.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That is not what we're going to do. What we are going to do, and ladies, pay attention to this, what we are going to do is we're going to pause our masculine energy that so many women, and I can't even think how far back that women took on this entrepreneur role. And taking on an entrepreneur role means we're going to step more in our masculine of doing. That we've actually like taken away the work of what a man really is supposed to do, because women out there think, oh, I can do it all. I don't need a man for that. So the word menopause is really about breaking down the masculine energy in a woman and allowing her to freely step into her feminine energy of being softer. And when I use the word softer, I don't mean in reference to like being a people pleaser. I mean like being softer in her energies, that she's actually able, people can approach her. She's approachable, and that she's softer where she's able to receive. I mean, there's so much conversation out there right now in reference to self-worth and self-value. This plays into this menopause because so many women don't feel worthy enough to receive.
Wow.
So if they're not feeling worthy enough to receive, they think they have to do everything. So the minute they have somebody who's willing to give them something because they haven't worked on receiving yet, they push it away. So the whole concept of when we speak of menopause is pausing our masculine energy so we can step fully into our femininity and show up in that feminine energy, so we don't have to work so hard for what it is we're here to do as entrepreneurs. That it becomes easier to create collaborations and connections and be at that scale of success without working hard to do it. And some of the, what I like to use the word is metaphysical, some of the metaphysical meanings behind some of the words that are used for menopause, let's say hot flashes. I mean, how many women sit there and get hot flashes? They talk about it like, oh my God, I got a hot flash. And they think it's menopause. And through my studies, what a hot flash really just is that we are evolving into our higher consciousness. We are literally evolving into who we are here to become based on the agreements that we have with God. It's evolving into a different entity. It's changing our frequency. And during that change of frequency, yes, we will get hot. We may even get cold because it's a change in system. And understanding that whole concept of the different terms that people use, I always say there's always another side to the coin. And if we only look at it as the medical side of it, then yes, people are going to have hot flashes. People are going to have where they have brain fog. And brain fog is just another way. Again, we're moving into our higher consciousness. So we're learning how to think out of our ego and really learn how to think into a more of an intellectual way to connect into that higher frequency as we evolve doing the work that we came here to do. So just to soak that in just for a moment, where we can really take in this new idea of like, oh, is that really what it is? And the beauty of it is that once we do take away the stigma of what maybe a hot flash is or what brain fog may be, now we can accept the fact that, you know what, it's not so terrible.
Mm.
And we move out of that whole process of flight and fight and stress that we put ourselves through because we're thinking, oh my God, this is the end of the world. No, this is a beautiful chapter that we literally get to move into a state of freedom, of freeing ourselves from everything that we've been programmed to believe we're supposed to be doing or not doing in this next cycle of life.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is something. And okay, so speaking of that, what is something that you could tell women over 40 specifically that are feeling stuck? What's one simple step that they can take to start healing today?
The one simple step that they could take to start healing today, what I'm hearing is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Because again, we're going back to the whole concept of programming, conditioning, and beliefs. And since we're little, since childhood, we have been programmed from our parents, from those who watched us, to be something that maybe we're not meant to be. And we all have an agreement. We all have a specific purpose to why we're here. It's important that we learn how to step into that soul's purpose and truly, authentically be that person, as opposed to pretending that maybe you took on a job to become an accountant because you were told this is where the money is going to be. You're going to make money being an accountant. But your heart and soul is not about being an accountant. Your heart and soul is to go and maybe be that entrepreneur that's going to write the book, or be that person who's going to travel the world to speak on stages. There's where your joy and love is. So if you can believe in who you really are meant to be and pull the mask off of what other people told you you should have been, that is the first step, because it goes deep in to your soul of who you're meant to be. So that is the first step of healing.
Wow, that is so good. You mentioned something that I was going to go to next, actually. 6 books. How did you become a writer? Tell us about these books.
How did I become a writer? Well, that's a really interesting question. To this day, I still sit back and I do. I laugh all the time when people say, you've written 6 books. Again, full transparency. When I write, it's about really about channeling information. And everything I've written, like when I come back and read it, I ask myself, where did that come from? Where did that information come from? Because it's literally channeled insight that I put down on pen and paper. And then I share it out. Did I ever intended to write books in general? No, had no idea. My biggest joke is I was one of those students that could barely put 10 words together to write a sentence. Nevertheless, write a book. And I would say to my editor all the time, I have a really great editor because you take what I write and you make it beautiful. And that's really what it is. It's like sitting back and I know my purpose for writing books is really just to share the messages that I have to share, to share the insight, the wisdom that may show up in a very weird way, because as you know, I'm not your everyday average person. You know, some people have a very challenging time even understanding some of the things I say. They're like, what does she mean? And that's okay, because not everyone's meant to understand the way I'm speaking, my language of communication. But that's why I write the books that I write.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I know the book that you did with Dr. Iris is like an anthology. Is that what you guys did?
Actually, I'm not in that book.
Oh, no.
Yes, no, I'm not in that book. I'm actually in her. I've participated in many of her magazines, and I did do Your Story, Your Power. So she's written He's written more stories about me than we could probably both count.
Okay. Actually, speaking of Dr. Hours, that's how we actually got connected and got to know each other. I hate that we didn't get to see each other that night when she
Yes,
had her award ceremony. Yeah, it was really nice. It was
yes,
beautiful. Yeah, I'm so glad I was able to make it. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
yes. Me too. Yes, yes.
absolutely. Okay, so okay, I want to do an exercise that I do with my class, and it's called Roses and Thorns. Okay, so a rose would be something that is going well, something that you're excelling in life. It could be in any area, it could be professional, personal, spiritual, whatever you want it to be. A thorn would be something that you need a little more help with, need little bit more motivation. Maybe you need to be a little bit more focused. So let's talk about some roses and some thorns.
Yes. Yes. So you have examples?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you an example. I'll go. So a rose for me would be I've been getting better sleep. I had to get some medication actually from my doctor to help me sleep because I was sleeping throughout the night. I was waking up, just not really getting a full night's rested sleep. So I've been getting really, really good sleep, and it's just definitely like helped my energy, helped my focus, my concentration. So that's a rose for sure. A thorn would be I gotta do better with like keeping my calendar and remembering times and dates because I'll just be all over the place sometimes. And I'm like, okay, what in the world? So yeah, just kind of want to get a little bit better with things that I have scheduled, remembering, times, dates, things like that. Make sure that everything is like, running smoothly. So it just helps like when you're, going throughout your week when you do that. So like I gotta do better with that. So yeah, that's
Excellent, excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. I'm going to give you my rose and thorn, but I'm going to do that after. What I am going
okay.
to do is I'm going to do a little teaching here as well to
Okay.
share a little bit about what you're experiencing. Because you said
Mhm.
that you've gone to your doctor to get some sleeping pills so you can sleep better at night. Okay,
Yeah.
this is so right up my alley with the work that I do because especially for women, especially right now, energetically speaking, if I can
Yeah.
speak in that sense,
Mhm.
what's going on for most women, even men, is
Mhm.
that at nighttime, when our bodies are supposed to be in a state of rest, that's when we are most vulnerable. So
Mm.
when we're most vulnerable, that's where we get what I like to call our spiritual hits, information,
Mm.
our downloads that come
Yeah,
through.
I agree.
And that could be one of the reasons why you're having a challenging time sleeping. Now, by taking the medication, what you're doing is you're numbing that. You're numbing your downloads from coming in.
Mm.
So it may not necessarily be quote unquote a good thing to take the medication so you can sleep. What might
Yeah.
be useful for you is prior to going to sleep is either allowing yourself to either take a bubble bath to relax your nervous
Mhm.
system
Yeah.
and calm yourself down and maybe doing a little journaling about your overall day that you had just to
Mm.
release whatever the
Yeah.
energy that's going on in your head. Because energetically, I mean, just a little bit I know of you, you're always on the go. So you go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, go, go,
Yeah.
go. And even probably 5 minutes before you go to bed, you're still going. So your body never really has a chance
Yeah.
to recover
Yeah.
and slow down. So what you may really need to do rather than taking the medicine to sleep is really allow
Mhm.
yourself to create a ritual that you can actually
Mm.
have before bedtime. And that could look like a bath,
Yeah.
some quiet writing,
Mhm.
and maybe even sitting in a state of prayer meditation just to
Mm.
release
Yeah.
your whole day so you can calm yourself down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in regards to the organization skills, having
Mhm.
where you do end up having a better night's sleep,
Yeah.
waking up and preparing your calendar for your day and doing what I do. I set alarms on my phone, reminding me like, oh, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do. Otherwise, if there's no alarm, I'm not there.
I'm not there.
I'm not there. If my phone doesn't remind me that I have something to do, then it's not something to do because it's not on my phone.
Yeah.
So for you, it really might be just about getting yourself just to calm yourself a little bit at the end of the day. And if you don't mind me asking, because I always love to know your birthday, you don't have to give me your year, just your month and your day.
May 27th.
May 27th. So energetically, as May 27th, that 9 vibration energy is your energy is in the process of wanting to get things done. So that's another reason why you may feel like, oh my God, if I go to sleep, I didn't get everything done I need to get done.
Yeah.
So you want to work on, again, that ritual of quieting yourself down. I say probably about 2 hours before bedtime. That's where you clock out.
Yeah.
No matter how busy you are, 2 hours before bedtime, you clock out so you can start to do your ritual of taking the bath, quieting yourself, doing some journaling, and just sitting in prayer and meditation so you can get yourself more comfortable easing into bed, as opposed to taking the medication, because in the long run of the medication, that's going to create other issues as well, which you don't really want.
Yeah.
So I hope that helped.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with what you said as far as like the spiritual downloads. Like I do, that is my prayer time. Sometimes, I pray before I go to sleep, but then I also pray like in the middle of the night if I'm up. And it's like I'll get like ideas, I'll get like different things. Like it's like my mind is like constantly going. It's like the wheels are like always moving and never just like settles down. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Yes. And because you are born in the month of, you're born in May, yes? You said May? Yeah. So the energy of May is someone that is constantly on the go. It's about constant movement, creativity, self-expression, freedom, travel. So you're constantly in the state of moving. So you have to learn how to slow yourself down so you can be more calmer, and also calm your nervous system down the same way. Otherwise, as you get older, this can become something more than it needs to become.
Yeah.
So just food for thought on that. Yes. So now my rose and my thorn. My rose would be, what would be my rose? My rose is that this year, back in March, and March seems to be a popular month for me because I always do a lot of starting, and the reason being is because I'm born in the month of March, and I plan that purposely, where I do a lot of rebirthing, so I'll birth projects in the month of March, and I birthed a magazine, and that is called Holistic Healing, and in fact today, our issue came out, and I'll show it to the world. And I think you may actually know. I think you may know the woman on the front cover.
I saw online. I'm not sure. We may be connected through other people.
Yes. Dr. LaShonda. I'm sure she was also at the event in June.
Oh, was she? Okay, so then I probably saw her, just didn't really know her. Okay, that's beautiful.
Yes. So she's our feature for October. Really excited about it. And that is the 8th issue. So really excited about the magazine. It's going really, really well. So that's like my rose. My thorn would be, which is interesting because we were talking about books. As we said that I have 6 books. Well, I'm working on number 7.
Okay.
Number 7. And that book is called The Menopausal Portal.
Oh, wow.
It's all about menopause. It's about the portal. It's the concept of it's the opposite of what women think menopause really is. And why it's the thorn is because ideally it's a book that should have been done already. I should have had that done. I have the cover already. I have the ISBN to it. It's already uploaded. It's just a matter of like, I have all the dialogue here. I have a whole notebook full of information. It's now just about typing it up and getting it in there. So when I looked at the calendar today and I said, okay, today's October 1st. There's 96 or 94 days left, 92 days left of 2025. My mission, my intention is to get that book finished before the end of this year.
Okay, you can do
this way you can start promoting it and getting it out and into the hands of those who need to read it, which is everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So tell us where they can find tell our listeners where they can find your show, what platforms, where they can find your book and everything else, your magazine, all the things that you have going on. How can they find that information?
All right. Well, the best way to find me is right on Facebook. I'm there all the time. In fact, I just created this commitment for myself. We're again talking about moving into the end of the year. The word, I think the term that we're using is locking in.
Okay.
I recently have learned that there's a lot of people out there that have no idea what I do. And in my mind, I'm like, how do we not know what I do? I thought I was really clear about what it is I do. So my mission is going live every day leading up until the end of the year. So I'm on eight. I did day 8 today,
Okay.
and 100 days of going live to share content of who I am, who I serve, and the pain points I work on when I serve them,
Okay.
and everything and anything about what I do. So the best place to find me is on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, which is right under Wholistic Fitness NY. My show, Joanne's Healing Within, that is the first Monday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will be on the first Monday in October, which is this Monday coming up. And just follow me to learn where you can find my books. All of them on Amazon. And follow me about my Holistic Healing magazine. So there you have
Okay.
it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that we were able to connect. I'm excited to be in your magazine. I'm excited to be on the front cover of your magazine when that comes out. So I'm just really glad to connect and just collaborate and work together. Thank you again for just, blessing us today with your expertise and your knowledge and your perspective. And I'm going to make sure that I put all of your links, all of your social media, your Amazon links, all that, everything where they can get in contact with you right there under the episode. So all that will be included with the episode, guys. Thank you again to Reverend Joanne. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kimberly Speaking 8062, and click on that bell for notifications. Until we speak again, be blessed.